I'll be honest with you folks, after reading this book, I wasn't sure if I was having a fever dream or if I was stroking out, but this book is good. I seriously had to go and check Anglington's review before recording this just to make sure somebody didn't bash me over the back of the head with a rock or something, because I want to make sure I was still connected with this reality. Holy shit, Bendis wrote a good book, and it wasn't Infamous Iron Man. Color me shocked! Color me surprised! Normally, I just blaze through the summary screens, and one thing I do want to point out is that they don't have the blurbs like they had with the other books. They do something a little bit different, which is actually kind of nice. So Miles ends up waking up in the bathroom, and I'm pretty sure there's a joke to be made there, and I completely missed it. Maybe something about foot tapping? I don't know. Maybe a little homoerotic encounter? I'll leave that to you to decide. Anyway, one thing I do want to point out here is I thought the art style was interesting. I both love it and hate it, mainly because they're trying to go for this very retro feel to the book, and they did accomplish that. There are parts where I just think the characters look really fucking retarded. So anyway, Miles ends up at this college where Peter's going to, and the one thing I do want to point out that is different from the other Generations books is the fact that he's not wearing his costume, he's wearing some random clothes. Homoerotic encounters. So anyway, he steps out of the bathroom and bumps right into Peter Parker, and he's like, oh my god, Peter, hey, how's it going? What you been up to? I know I'm in the past. And so this is where we get our summary about the two characters. So Peter's like, hey dude, how do you know me? You keep saying my name. Do we have class together? Holy shit, I'm late. Miles is trying to talk to the guy, and he's like, I gotta go. So he happens to overhear Flash Thompson and Harry Osborn. They're kind of talking some shit about Peter. Gwen's like, I'm not too sure if I wouldn't necessarily want to prank the guy. And what ends up happening is Miles calls them out. So Miles is like, hey, you guys suck. He thinks you're his friends. You see him struggling. And Gwen is like, hey. And Flash is all like, hey, want to take this shit outside? And Miles is like, yeah, I'd love to, but I got better things to do than to trash her ass. Okay, so tangent alert. One thing that annoyed me is that Bendis kept referring to people by their full name. So Gwen referred to Harry as Harry Osborn. Nobody talks like that. Nobody says their full name. Unless you're doing an introduction. Hey, my name's so-and-so. Hi, I'm Harry Osborn. No, it's like, hey Harry, what's up? Not, hey Harry Osborn, how are you? That's fucking retarded, man. That's really my only complaint about this book and the artwork. So anyway, Miles gets all pissed off and leaves and slams to the door. And of course, what does he do? He smacks right back into Peter. So Peter's like, hey, what the fuck? I have spider senses. And Miles answers for him. He's like, what the fuck, dude? You were going to say spider senses. I have them too. And he's like, what the fuck you talking about, dude? And then Miles proceeds to show him his dick. And Peter's like, no, I don't want to see that. Okay, no, that doesn't happen. I'm adding that in. But he does pull up his shirt and reveals his partial Spider-Man outfit. And he's like, oh, fuck, that was a bad idea, and runs off. So after Miles flips out about showing his dick to Peter, he goes and ends up looking for himself and finds himself as a kid meeting his best friend Gank. And there's this really awkward moment because his mom is like, who the fuck are you? Why are you around my kids? Why are you staring at us? How about you beat it? So we get back to Peter, and Peter's being kind of batshit crazy. And outside, Miles is kind of spying on him, being kind of creepy stalky here. Peter's legitimately freaking out about something. He's like trying to calm himself down, and suddenly Miles is like tapping on the window like, yo bro, what's up, man? How's it going? Mind if I come in? And Peter's like, what the fuck you doing, dude? What do you do walking into my house like this? So Miles is like, hey man, it's cool. Let me take my shirt off. That doesn't come off as gay at all or anything. Hey, but actually, I'm a part of the spider cult in the future that was created by you. Okay, he doesn't say that either. But he does say he's a Spider-Man and that there are other spider people out there in the future. And Peter's like, okay, that's kind of crazy. And Miles gets into the whole thing with it being a tribute because the Peter Parker from his universe is dead. So Miles really is kind of like meeting his idol as a kid. So they go and they trade stories about how they became Spider-Man, how Peter was bitten by an irradiated spider, and Miles was bitten by a genetically altered spider. And you see that Peter really is having a shitty day. There's a lot of stuff going on, and there's actually a lot of weight on Peter. This is something you don't see with the typical SJW characters and the way books are being written. So my initial reaction when seeing this page is like, what the fuck, Bendez? You have like jizz dripping all over Spider-Man. Turns out it's just water. How awkward for me. So you find out that Aunt May is dying from this rare blood disease, and Peter is trying to save her by going into, get this cure from Doc Ock, and Doc Ock brings the building down on him, and he's, trying to get out of it. So there's a lot of weight going on. There is actually stakes to the story, even though it's about conversation, and there's really no action in it. And it's really good because you get to see the humanity between these two characters. You're seeing Peter Parker basically breaking down here in front of Miles. The weight of the world is literally on his shoulders. So Peter gets a call from the doctor and everything's fine. Aunt May is alive and he's relieved that she's okay. At this point is where he starts thinking that maybe Miles is nothing more than a hallucination, and in some sort of weird way he's kind of right. And Peter is so exhausted from the shitty day he's having, he passes out. And Miles is like, holy crap, I didn't realize how personal Peter takes all this shit. So he ends up with a new appreciation for what Peter has gone through. And that is how you write a good fucking story. And that's the end of the book. Miles hands him back the mask and then he's gone. And the thing I like about it is because they do set it up like it was some sort of dream for Peter. You see Miles sitting there and the next moment he's gone. I hate to say it, this book is actually pretty damn good. It has a lot of humanity and a lot of gravitas to it. Peter's having a shitty day and Miles witnesses it and can appreciate it. And this is something that we need to see from these other characters. They're not just merely having something handed to them, they actually have to struggle to make it. That's what makes stories interesting. People overcoming a struggle of some kind. Get that through your fucking head, Marvel. This is a good book. Do some more like this. This is the best book, and this isn't difficult here. This is the best book out of Generations, and it's something I can actually say, hey man, you should read it. It's good. Alright, well that's all I have to say here. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review of Generations The Spiders. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Do you feel the same way I did about this book? You know the routine. Click the like button, hit the bell for notifications, click subscribe if you can tolerate the sound of my voice. Make sure to share this video on social media. And until next time, enjoy your reads.